Hi friends, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to share with you how I killed cravings for fast food and junk food. So why? Why would you want to kill your cravings for junk food and fast food? I think that's obvious. A lot of people want to lose weight, they want to be healthier, they want to skip that stuff, but it's just so good. It tastes good and your body craves it and you just want it. It's hard to resist. So why? I see it as plastic. I don't see it as real food. That's the best way I can explain it, is I have gotten to the point now after eating this way for so long that when I pass by the bakery section at the grocery store, I don't even look. It's like in my mind, it's like an unshoppable section of the store. I don't even go there. And if I look at, like for some reason there's a, display in the middle of the aisle or something and it's got cupcakes on it or whatever, I literally see it as like toy cupcakes or like inedible, toxic food, because that's what it is. I mean, it's just garbage. Are there some ingredients in there that are, considered okay? Yeah. But when you look at the list, even at the bakery, like the list is like this long. The cake should have like flour, eggs, sugar, oil, milk, and that's it. But it's like this long. Why? No, that makes it toxic. Having that many ingredients that we don't even know what that is. No. Also, a calorie is not a calorie. A calorie is a calorie. Equal exchange. I argue on the side, or I guess I am in camp, no, it's not. Because I can eat, a couple hundred calories of oil in a tablespoon of oil, or I can eat a couple hundred calories worth of berries and fruit, or a big pile of broccoli or something like that. My body's getting on this side, I'm, eating all this produce. It's healthy. My body's getting all these nutrients that it needs. So it shuts down the hunger because I'm giving it what it needs. On this side, it's just oil or a chocolate bar or a bag of chips or whatever it is. That doesn't have many nutrients in it. Does it have calories that will get me by for a little while? Yes. But inevitably, my body's going to send the hunger cues again because I'm not giving it what it needs. It's like, you got to get something else in here, sister, because I'm not getting any vitamin C out of this. I'm not getting any minerals or nutrients out of this. So keep sending stuff until we get what we need. So that's, your body's going to keep sending you those cravings until you give it what it needs. And it might take a little while when you first start feeding yourself the produce and the healthy stuff, but you'll get there. And eventually your body will crave that stuff and it will stop craving the junk stuff. Number 2, it is a missed opportunity to get nutrients into my body, which ties in with the last thing that I said. I don't want to eat this junky thing over here and miss the opportunity to feed my body something good. Not only just because it's going to stop the cravings if I give it what it needs, but also I want it to be healthy. I want my body to be able to renew the cells in it with the building blocks that it needs, and not just miss that opportunity altogether and give it garbage. 3, I've been asked, don't you feel deprived by not participating in junk food or fast food once in a while? And my answer to that is no, because like going back to the previous reasons that I expressed, because I know my body needs better nutrients than this junk food. But also being a nurse, and even if you're not a nurse, I guarantee you've had somebody in your family who has suffered from cardiovascular disease, COPD, or diabetes, cancer, the C word. I don't like saying that word, but the C word. And the pain and suffering that they go through is just undescribable. And it hurts me to see people go through that. If I can avoid it, I want to do everything I can to avoid that. I've had to take care of so many patients, and even family members that I've seen have to go through having their sternum, their chest bone, sawed open so that they could open it up and do a bypass to save their life because a stent wasn't working anymore. Or people having to go through the pain of having a surgery to have a tumor removal for the C word, and then having to follow up with radiation and chemo, and then years and years of chemo. And it's painful. It's an ongoing painful situation. And even though I haven't had to go through those things, knock on wood, I have suffered with UTIs in the past. I have figured out what was causing that, and it's been shut down. I know what causes like inflammation in my bladder and that sort of thing, and I have gratefully been blessed and had that basically cured. But for years I suffered with it, and it's very painful. And I think to myself, that pain is so excruciating that I can't sleep. Nothing, can't make it go away until it's cured and it's, fixed. I can't get any relief from it. Nothing helps. And I think, oh my gosh, what if you had that pain somewhere else in your body because you had some sort of disease that was affecting that part of your body, like putting that pain somewhere else that you just can't get any relief from, that your body's just been worn down and mistreated and neglected for so long that there is no fixing it now. I don't want to go through that. And if I can encourage you to get yourself on the right path and start taking better care of yourself and avoid that pain, my friend, I'm telling you, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure when it comes to your diet and lifestyle and how your overall health is affected. Please, please consider taking better care of yourself. Skip the junk food, skip the fast food, find alternatives, bring food with you. I'm going to go into the how now. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let's go on to the how. One is obvious, just don't eat at those restaurants. I rarely ever eat at a fast food restaurant. Every once in a while when we're on a really long road trip and I'm desperate, I will get plain baked potato from Wendy's or at Taco Bell, get a bean burrito al fresco, and they'll make it without the cheese and stuff, and it still tastes really good. Even then, it's not organic, it's not whole food, the potato is, but you can put salsa and stuff on it if you want to, but you got to get the baked potato without all the stuff on it, or you might as well have fries. But I just stay away from it altogether. I try to bring food with me or wait until I can sit down and order a proper meal, or if places that have fresh salads to go and things like that you can take the high calorie things off of it, then you can do that. Number 2 is I don't allow the junk to come in the house. Now, I don't tell my husband what to eat. He wants to eat healthy. He does eat ice cream every night, and it is dairy, but we have an electric ice cream maker, and I make it with whole milk and the Costco organic zero fat Greek yogurt that's really thick. So I just, instead of cream, I use the yogurt and then I mix it all together, and it's whole ingredients, literally four ingredients: milk, the yogurt, cocoa powder, and sugar. And it's not even a lot of sugar, but he eats a small portion of that every night. I personally would not do that, but he's a grown man and I'm not gonna tell him what he can and cannot eat. For the most part, I think that's the only thing he really eats that would be considered something maybe you don't want to do, but I would definitely be in his ear if he was eating store-bought ice cream with all those chemicals and high cream and cholesterol and stuff that's in it. So at least this is the better of the two. We don't bring in like baked goods or anything like that. If we want something like that, I make my own muffins I make my own oat flour. And then I'll make like a banana nut muffin or something like that and make it low oil, low sugar, and it's whole ingredients. So, and instead of making a loaf, I put them in cupcake paper cups and then I freeze them. And then when I really want something like that, I'll take one out and put it in the microwave and just eat it as a snack, but I just don't have like a dozen sitting out on the counter tempting us all the time. It's like I have to go to the freezer and get one and take it out. And I have to say I don't even do that very often. Usually if I want something, I'm going to eat an apple. And if your family's just like, I don't care, I want the chips and I want the candy and I want the... You have to have a sit down talk with your spouse and say, I need to eat healthier and I need help with this. So I need us to keep this stuff out of the house. You want to keep it in your man cave or your shop or whatever and keep it hidden, fine, but the kids and I don't need it. I mean, if you can't resist that temptation, you really do just have to keep it out of the house. I mean, it's much more difficult to eat it if you have to get in the car and go down to the convenience store and pick it up, or the grocery store or whatever. If you just don't have it in the house, it's not as tempting to just go and grab something in the middle of the night. I have gotten to a point where that doesn't really bother me. Was there anything? There's probably a few things that if they were just sitting around, like, I don't know, like when I make chocolate chip cookies and stuff now, they're like oatmeal cookies with some vegan chocolate chips in them. And they taste really good, but they're not like so calorie dense that my body's just like, give me more of that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my husband's had candy and different treats and stuff in the house, but I don't ever feel tempted by it. But it's just because I've eaten this way for so long that it's not something that I'm like, just gotta have it. I don't know how to explain it. But after you practice this for a while, you do get to a point where you don't need that anymore. So that's something hopeful, I think. Just takes practice, getting used to making better choices, and then it becomes like second nature. It's not something you really have to think about anymore. Number 3, add greens. And I mean like spinach, kale. I will put those in salads, and I freeze some to put into my fruit smoothies because it contains thylakoids. And thylakoids are a huge helper whenever you're trying to cut back on foods or cravings in general. The thylakoids just shut it down. It's like magic. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, but putting even just a handful of the greens into your smoothies or into your soups and your stews, or putting it under your rice or your quinoa or your pasta, you can add it to a lot of dishes just to get that extra greens in there. But it shuts off the hunger. It is amazing. It shuts off the cravings. Highly recommend greens. Get your greens. Pulling my hair. Get your greens in. Put them in your smoothies. Like I said, great. Just look it up. Google it. Google thylakoids. You'll see. I don't know what number I'm on. I always lose track of the numbers, but I think I'm on number 4. But so this one is intermittent fasting, or having an eating window, because then your body comes to expect or not expect food before a certain time, and then not to expect it after a certain time. And I highly recommend shutting down your eating at least 4 hours before you go to bed. So your body has time. So everything's been digested and your body just has time to rest. And if you have a hard time doing that at night, then I would suggest drinking water or an herbal tea with maybe a little bit of honey or something like that, just to kind of help you have something to, put in your stomach. And a lot of times it will help, just kind of take the edge off of it. Having that hot liquid will help you just kind of get over that hump. But eventually you get used to shutting, like I try not to eat past 6 or 6:30 every night. My body knows it's done. We're not getting any more food. So I just don't crave anything. I'm not hungry. I've eaten what I needed for the day. I got good nutrients in, all of that. So my body knows it's after 6, we're done. And then my other tip for that would be brush your teeth. If you feel like, I just feel like I need to go to the cabinet and get those chips or that candy bar or whatever, go brush your teeth. And if you wear a retainer at night like I do, put your retainer in, because it's like something shuts off in my brain. Like I floss every night, and then I brush my teeth, and I do like this mineral treatment and everything to like remineralize my teeth. And once I do that, I don't want to do it again. I feel like it's not really that much work, but I feel like it's another step that I don't want to have to take. So once I do it, I'm like, no, ma'am, you're done. You've got the teeth are done, the retainer's in, you're done for the night. We're shutting it down, sister, we're done. So that's a tip too. And if you don't have a retainer, maybe get a mouth guard or something, put it in. But just some kind of clue that reminds you like, oh, I brushed my teeth, I'm done, I'm ready for bed. As far as my teeth go, I'm not gonna eat anything else. Trust me, it helps a lot. Just, it's like a little trick to help your brain remember, no, we're not snacking now, we're done. Okay, and this next tip, I kind of touched on it earlier, was if I feel like I really need something, I make it. There's a really easy recipe and it's like 4 ingredients. It's like mashed bananas, oatmeal, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. And I use vegan mini chocolate chips. And then you mix it together, and I'll have to see if I can find if I remember, and put the portions and everything, put the recipe down below. Mix it together, put it on a cookie sheet and bake it. And you make these little cookies, basically it's little oatmeal bites. And it just kind of gives you that, I needed, a little cookie treat or something like that. Or I make the muffins, like I said, and put them in the freezer. And then if I just need a little bite, you can make mini muffins too, and then just have a little bite. But it just helps like not feel like, oh, I just want a snack of something, but I don't have anything. And then you don't feel like you're depriving yourself of something like, oh, I never get to eat cookies anymore. Yeah, you can eat a cookie, just make it yourself and make it from scratch. Don't buy the box stuff. Buy whole ingredients. Make it yourself. It's easy. Just because the flour and all the stuff comes mixed together in that little bag and they tell you add eggs, milk, and oil to this and do this and whatever. You can do all that yourself. Use ingredients you have at home and make it yourself. It's much better for you. And then the next tip that I have is to bring water and or tea in like a reusable water bottle, and snacks, bring them with you when you leave. If you're going on a road trip, if you're going out to run errands or whatever, even if I'm not hungry, I just ate before I left, I'm still gonna bring something with me. I'm gonna bring a little bag of mixed nuts, maybe some dried fruit. If I make my own oatmeal protein bars or something, I'll bring that. Or I'm trying to think what else I bring. Banana, apple, stuff like that. And then I bring my water with me. If I'm hungry, that's what I'm eating. I can't tell you the last time I stopped at a convenience store for anything. The water, I'm not buying that bottle of water. It's too expensive. I filter my own water and I bring it with me. All the snacks and stuff. And again, I walk in there. If I have to stop and go to just use the bathroom on a road trip, I walk past all the stuff and I'm like, it's just toxic plastic garbage. Next, I would say go for a walk or do some sort of exercise, because the endorphins can help you get past those cravings. Be careful with this one though, because if you run, walk too long, exercise too hard, your body will actually kick into another level of, okay, now I'm hungry and we're working extra hard, so I'm gonna crank up the cravings. I'm gonna crank up the appetite. That's what happens with me anyway. I don't know if you've experienced that before, but a lot of people may not even realize how much they're eating after, and like, oh, I just exercised, so it's okay for me to eat this, whatever, pizza or whatever the thing is. So be careful with that. A little exercise is great. You go to the next level, be prepared with a meal that's going to satiate you without going over your calorie allotment. The next thing I would recommend is having your hormones checked. As women, our hormones change drastically as we get into postmenopausal phases, even in perimenopause. And I would say find a good hormone doctor and ask them to check your hormones for you and see where you are. And if you're postmenopausal, even perimenopausal, you can take hormone replacements. But I personally, not telling you to do anything or recommending, I'm just recommending you find a doctor and discuss it, see if it's okay for you. But for me, bioidentical HRT has been amazing. It's helped me so much. I do think that it helps a lot with, well, of course, it's keeping my hormones more on even kill, but I think that in turn helps keep the cravings away. I really, really recommend that you find somebody to help you with that. So I'm not going to go into too great a detail about that. And then next is getting enough sleep. and good quality sleep, which also ties into the hormone imbalance. If your hormones are imbalanced, you're menopausal or postmenopausal, you're probably having problems sleeping and getting enough sleep. The HRT helps me tremendously with that, even though I still have problems with sleeping sometimes, and I have to make some adjustments. I do take magnesium before bed in addition to my hormones. Both of those, the progesterone helps you sleep as well. And so a lot of times that does help, but sometimes there's still factors like noise and things that are out of my control that will still interrupt my sleep. And I do notice that I have more cravings on those days. So getting good sleep, good quality sleep is really important for keeping those cravings at bay and being able to resist the junk food and the fast food. So yeah, make sure if you need help with insomnia, please talk to your doctor. Please, I beg you. Sleep is so important. I cannot express it enough. And then finally, there's some controversy about this, but some doctors say that as you get older, your caloric needs go down, and they say your metabolism goes down. My thought on it, and from what I've seen and read and the studies and everything, is that it's not so much that age is making our metabolism decrease. It's that we're not exercising enough. We don't have as much muscle. And muscle increases your metabolism. So if you're losing muscle, you're losing your metabolism. It's going down. So not losing it, but it's diminishing. Also, you have to think about if you're at a higher weight, then you can get away with eating more calories than you can if you're at a lower weight or your goal weight. So if you start out 60 pounds heavier, you're going to lose weight at a certain calorie count, but once you get down to your goal weight, you're going to have to stay at that calorie. You can't go back to eating, 2,000 calories a day or whatever. You need less calories to maintain that lower weight. So you do need to think of it in terms like that. It is a lifestyle change. It is not just decrease the calories until I lose the weight and then I don't have to do it anymore. No, you still have to keep the calorie count down. You don't need as many calories. And as you get older and you do lose muscle mass, your metabolism is going to decrease because of that, not so much your age, but if you keep the muscle up, then you can help combat that. But if you don't, you're going to need fewer calories. So you just need to keep that in mind too. That's not so much, I guess, to do with cravings, but just keeping the weight off in general. So I just threw that one in there. I was thinking about it whenever I was writing these down. So that's all I have for you today, friends. I hope you found something that's helpful, and I hope you have a blessed, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.